up, y'all? Let's go. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We have so much that we have to talk about tonight, so we ready to get into it, get this thing started. You have Sadell Nicole, the Lioness, and
Carlita Nicole, the quirky queen herself, Chi-Town, born and bred, Texas fed. What's up, y'all?
What's up? Let's kick this thing off, Carlita. What you got?
Well, okay. We're going to go ahead and dive right on in because Sadell, you already know, you and I both received so much hate mail and haters when we played the Feagle Eagles.
Oh,
and
Lord.
lo and behold, we ended up losing to them. But no worries. Let's talk about this game. So, first things first, we fronted the Eagles 20 points, right, in the first half. So, but my boy Cooper Rush, he remained poised, focused, and he managed to get us back in the game with 17 unanswered points. Then what ended up happening later on in the game, after this great 17-point run, y'all, the score got up to 20-17, but then Philly came with a 13-play, 75-yard drive that resulted in a touchdown. They didn't get the 2-point conversion, but y'all, it ate up 7 minutes and 37 seconds off the daggone game clock. Why is that essential? I bought that up for one because the time of possession, honestly, like the Eagles dominated it 34 minutes to 25 minutes. That's a coaching issue. Once again, our penalties, coaching issues, 10 penalties, 17 yards. Defensively, this was the first time this entire season that our defense allowed for more than 19 points. And Jalen Hurts was able to throw for 155 yards. He had 27 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. The Eagles ended up with 136 rushing yards overall, and they totaled 268 yards in offense. So, this is the thing. A lot of y'all are talking about, Cooper Rush didn't do this and Cooper Rush didn't do that. So, Cooper Rush, this legitimately was his worst statistical performance of his career. He completed just 47% of his passes for 181 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. Okay. 3 interceptions. That's a bit much. We understand that. However, Cooper Rush came in this game. He did what he was supposed to do. He did what he was supposed to do this entire time Dak has been out. So there's been a lot of Cooper Rush hate, a lot of trying to rush Dak back, saying that Cooper Rush failed us when we played the Eagles and so on and so forth. I think it is buffoonery. I think it is foolery. Leave Cooper Rush alone. Cooper Rush did what he came to do. He did what he was paid to do. I'm not mad at him. I am grateful that he came in and he stepped in like a backup QB is supposed to, but he legit outperformed a lot of starting quarterbacks when he was not playing the Eagles. So, Sadell, with all of everything that I just said, especially the Cooper Rush talk, what was in your ear the most this week with the Feagle Eagle fans?
You know, it was definitely about Cooper, but just in general, the fact that we lost. But I think for me, it was more so, I think the Eagles did a good job of staying away from Micah. So there were a lot of times when they literally did not block him, so he would come in and then they would run down the middle.
Yeah.
The thing about him, though, is he does a good job of chasing them down. Yeah. But if they don't go toward him, we do not. Like, that's our one Achilles heel in our defense, is that, I agree, is that we do not do a good job. Our run defense is lacking that, and they exposed that. And I knew that would be a test for Jalen, because Jalen he's very mobile and he can throw the ball. So you have to respect the run. And then on the other hand, you have to be able to cover. And he put us in a position that we hadn't really, really been in so far. And like I said, when they take Micah and we're moving him around in different positions, but they're saying, okay, if he's over here, you know, we may block him this time, we may not. We may let him rush in wide open, but we're going to run it away from him. And that's what they did. They did a good job of doing that. And that helped them as far as being in position to score. I do not necessarily agree that time of possession is a coaching issue. I mean, if you turn the ball over 3 times, that affects time of possession.
Okay.
And I'm not saying, you know, to me, Cooper Rush served as a backup quarterback. Yes. He outperformed, I'm not saying not just starting quarterbacks, he outperformed our expectation. Yeah. Right? We didn't expect him to come in and win these games that he won, right? But he did. He did what he's supposed to do. At the end of the day, Cooper Rush has been in the league long enough to have earned a starting position if that was going to be his role. So, you know, he did what he did. And my thing is Dak hopefully will come back and be able to get us on track and, you know, win us a few games. I honestly feel that the way we played with Cooper, which was more conservative, but we relied on the run a lot and check downs a lot. And that to me, that's the way we may need to start out with Dak. Right. And says Parsons couldn't attack at full speed because he had to wait to see if Jalen would hand the ball off or keep the ball. And I agree. And there were times when he kind of held back and then would go. And then when he did go, like I said, a lot of times they didn't even block him because they knew they were going to run. So they took him out of a lot of the plays. And I agree. And so Philly does cater to Jalen's strengths, which is what they're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? That's what you have to be. Case in point, Russell Wilson, but you know, that's a whole nother story anyway.
I will get to that in a minute.
God dang it. But yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. But on the other hand, it ain't like the Eagles are sorry this year. Like in the past, we could be angry because Coach Paul, Eagles, he's an Eagles fan. In the past, you know, we could be kind of salty because the Eagles were trash.
Right.
But the Eagles are 6-0 right now. And even though they haven't played, you know, the stiffest competition, they've had probably the easiest record of anybody in our conference. They're still 6-0, and they have a decent team. Like this is probably the strongest they've been in the last few years. So, you know, we lost, and you know we're gonna recoup. I'm not saying the season's over and we're gonna die and we're not gonna make it. I mean, right now. The Cowboys are third. We're third in our division. The Commanders are going to lose next week. The Giants are going to lose next week. And we'll be tied with the Giants. Anyway.
Are you sure? Okay.
I feel fairly certain, but go ahead.
Okay. So in all of that, it's interesting. Y'all know each week I have to give y'all these stats, our running back stats, because they frustrate me to no end. However, this week is completely different. It's completely different. Zeke had one of his better games this season. He ran for 81 yards on 13 attempts, y'all. What does that mean? He averaged 6.2 yards per carry. Y'all know that is a huge deal because usually he's like this season and the tail end of last season, he was averaging 2 to 3 yards per carry. And it's so frustrating when Zeke gets paid as much money as he got paid, and then we're only getting 2 to 3 yards per carry out of him. And our run game is what we leaned into because of Zeke.
Can I say this? Since you're the Dak ambassador, I'm gonna be the Zeke ambassador because you be on Zeke constantly.
What?
Zeke makes
I love Zeke.
That's the same way I feel about Dak when y'all be saying I'm hating on him. I love Dak, but I'm just saying.
Okay, so Ed said, I love to see the Cowboys spend next year's first round pick on a nasty defensive lineman to make our defensive even more ferocious. Our defense even more ferocious. Yes, listen, that legit would be dope. And I say that because I feel like our defense is the best thing we got going right now. Like legit, it really is. Because like I'm not hating on Zeke, but our run game is where we have to lean in. That's how we win games. And when you get 2 and 3 yards per carry, you're not moving chains in order to get down the field to score touchdowns. That's why I say what I'm saying. Now, with Tony Pollard having that tandem, and Tony Pollard stretches those yards, and he's definitely top 5 in yards after contact. So we have a great tandem between the two. But if we're leaning into it, like if Zeke continues to play like he played this week, you won't hear me fuss about the yards per carry anymore.
The reason Tony Pollard can be Tony Pollard and Dak can be Dak is because of Zeke. Simple as that.
I'm not disputing that. That's fine. That's fine and well. So what you said is that if they can play, because we played conservatively the last few weeks, Dak is cleared to play, y'all. Okay, he's cleared. Dak is supposed to come back next week when we play the Detroit Lions. So because of that, if you guys can you see my hit me with your Prescott? I'm trying to. Okay, I got my hit me with your Prescott. Cause y'all get it? Yeah. So as the official Dak ambassador, I'm ecstatic about him coming back. But y'all, I am a little bit nervous because I'm rooting for Dak and I want to see his greatness like shine. And I feel like we have the pieces around him in order for him to be able to do that. But I'm just not sure how he's going to play post injury, because remember, like I said, when he came back post injury last season, that his play style was different. He played more conservatively. He played tighter.
I kind of disagree with that. When he first came back, he was very aggressive.
No, not after the ankle injury. I'm talking about when he hurt his shoulder.
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
When he hurt his shoulder, it was after the ankle injury. You didn't see a difference. I was like, yes, super excited. But after the second injury, I was like, this is not the same Dak. And I'm just wanting to send Dak some love and some inspiration and some encouragement and say, bro, you got this. You got this. Like, don't worry about the injury. Trust your body. If they cleared you to play, like, they're not going to put that much money on the line. So at this point, I'm like, hey, let's go for it. Let's go out there. Let's ball out. Let's utilize the weapons that we have. And let's play smart. Let's play smart and manage the clock well. Because I feel like some of the best QBs in the league are great game managers and clock managers. But the coaches pay attention to that too. So I'm excited. I think we will win this week with Detroit. So do you think we'll win that game?
We better. God dang it. The Lions? We better beat them.
Are you serious? The Lions have Amon-St. Brown is coming back. DJ Shark is still out though. And they did. I think it's Josh Reynolds that they picked up another receiver.
Yeah,
they have some weapons. They can score points. It's
not a matter of them scoring points. I'm not as concerned with an offense that doesn't have a strong run game. I'm not as concerned with an offense that doesn't have a Jalen Hurts kind of QB, because I feel like our defense can hold, right? We got to score points. And, that's going to be the thing, because that's, to me, in the first round, honestly, I would like to see us get a dog receiver. And I like Michael Gallup. But when Michael Gallup going up for a ball and the receiver's coming, the corner is coming over your back and knocking the ball out of your hands. And I love CD. I still don't feel we have a true number one go-to receiver. Like, that's going to be our dog. And even though Amari Cooper had his days, Amari Cooper was that. And we just don't really. I want Michael Gallup to be. I want CD to be like. I love him, but it's just not that yet. It's not, and so I feel like we need to stir that up. And from a defensive perspective, we may need another linebacker. Van Der Esch, I don't know, like he's up and down. I like him.
Up and down because of injury.
But yeah, exactly. And so he comes back, and to me, even him before, like when Sean Lee and him, it was just like that dude was. But it's like he's kind of timid, and he's very frail. It's like freaking Mr. Glass, and so it's like some of his aggression and some of his whatever that he had before is not there. And like that, I would maybe like to shore up on defense, but to me, we need a strong receiver. Like, I don't feel like we have that shored up right now.
I can agree with that because now I can. I wasn't so sure about that a couple of weeks ago, but playing fantasy football has changed my mind. Okay, because watching the receivers across the board and then seeing CD Lamb's numbers, and then we have Michael Gallup, and then there's Noah Brown, and that you're right. There's not a clear number one receiver that we have, but I'm not opposed to the idea of leaning into our defense and drafting someone on the defense in the first round. I'm not opposed to that. Kevin, hey, he said he's glad to see us back. The Memphis Grizzlies are kicking behind right now, and Dallas is on next. Yes, we're gonna get to the NBA in a little bit. Okay, let's move on. We already know Dallas is gonna beat Detroit next week, but there was a game that I was super excited about waiting for this week, and that game was the Bills and Chiefs.
Yes.
Okay. So let me just break this down. Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes have met together. This was like the third time. The first time they met in the conference championship. The second time was the divisional round, which was one of the wildest shootouts in the playoffs, like ever. That game was just bananas. But the Chiefs ended up winning those. Well, this time the Bills came back on that behind. So check this out. Josh Allen ended up with 329 yards to Patrick Mahomes' 338 yards, right? But the Bills just showed up in every single aspect. Devin Singletary ran through the Chiefs. Like every time I looked up, if they were running the ball, it was Devin Singletary. Stephon Diggs had 148 yards and a touchdown. Gabe Davis and Dawson Knox, their tight end, were instrumental offensively. Defensively, Von Miller. Period. Okay?
Right.
So basically, like he kept Patrick Mahomes on the move the entire game, y'all. And to top this off for this win off for the Bills are on bye this week. So they go into their bye with a fantastic win, but then they come back on the 30th and they get Sunday Night Football with the dilapidated Green Bay Packers. So the Chiefs will end up playing, having a Super Bowl rematch with the Niners this weekend. So that's going to be kind of cool to see that. But I fully expect the Chiefs to win that matchup. This game was so interesting to me. It was really like, you know what this reminds me of? When how excited we used to get when Aaron Rodgers would play Tom Brady, and it would be like the two GOATs against each other. Like this is the younger GOATs. They are great, and it's so exciting.
Are you the best two quarterbacks in the league right now? Like they are the best two quarterbacks in the league right now, and as young as they are, like they are amazing.
They are. That game to me was honestly just one of the best games this season. And I the games that have gone into overtime should not have gone into overtime this season, but this one I would not have minded if it
Right.
did.
Mm-hmm.
Hey daddy. Lincoln says really, Sadell, you you really expected the receivers to have big games with Cooper Rush throwing to them.
No, I don't even mean that in general. It wasn't necessarily this game, but I'm just saying in general, I don't feel that we have a true number one QB. I don't, you know, Cooper Rush did what he did, and most of their, you know, he did throw a couple of deep passes. A couple of times he tried to challenge stuff that he should not have challenged. That was kind of uncharacteristic of him. But for the most part, I mean, he prior to this week, he was just very conservative. But not. I'm just saying in general, I don't feel that we have that one dog that's gonna go get it. And you know, everybody talked about Dez Bryant. Yeah, he dropped some, but he also made some amazing catches, and that's what I'm talking about.
He did. He really did. So, okay, real quick, I'm gonna bring up a couple of games. There's the Jets Packers. First of all, did the Jets beat the Packers 27-10? Yes, they did. What? Okay, here's the deal. The Packers are on a down slope if I've ever seen one. And I don't even know if it's Aaron's fault, if it's the coach's fault. Matt, why can't I think of his name? But the Packers just don't look like they could even get out of their division. Okay. The Jets, on the other hand, which they were looking horrible the last few years. I don't know what Robert Saleh has been doing, but they have been scoring points and they have been winning some games that people did not expect them to win. But Breece Hall, okay? Breece Hall, 116 yards. Is he acting a fool or what? Yes, he is. But what's up, Rico? He says, "Go Bears!" No, we love the Bears. When we're playing the Bears this week, this season. So when we play the Bears, I have to be anti-Bears because my family disowns me. But I'll be a Bears fan all the other times when we don't play them. So that's the Jets and the Packers. But Sadell, the other game was the Bucks and the Steelers. Did the Bucks get beat by a Steelers team that has like
Well, you also know that Tom Brady was out partying with the little pervert Robert Kraft, missed the walkthrough. That tells me Tom Brady is not the Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying? That's not the Tom Brady move. Tom Brady was a Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan kind of dude. You know what I'm saying? But to say that I'm going to miss a walkthrough to go with this dude with his 15-year-old looking wife or whatever she is. Yeah, yeah. So you missed that, and then you come out and look crazy, and then you yelling at your teammate. Everything. Tom Brady has too much stuff going on personally. He should have stayed retired and taken advantage of it, or not announced a retirement and stayed focused on what you were trying to do. But now it's like he's trying to mingle. You know, he's trying to co-mingle the two. Either you in all the way in or you out. But it's like he's trying to say, okay, well, I'm coming back to play, but I still got to make my wife happy. I still got to try and do this other stuff on the side. And it's showing. And then you have these little temper tantrums and then get online and say, we're not playing up to our potential. None of us are. Well, starting with you. So start there. Stop saying we are. Start me. Because you're going to miss walkthrough to go to. And I mean, great. That's your buddy. That's your dude. But he's also an owner. So he knows how this goes.
Yeah.
So, So I don't know.
And so there's no law against billionaires marrying.
Clearly,
ridiculous.
Clearly, there's not. Clearly, there isn't. Yeah. So
okay. So I have one last NFL question before we move on to other sports news. And it's kind of a long drawn out question, but y'all, I really want to know, which team do y'all think is just doing the worst between these two teams? The first one is the Panthers. The Panthers, y'all know they fired their coach, Matt Rule. He was gone after 3 seasons. Christian McCaffrey, their best player on their team, there's trade talks all over the league for him. The interim coach kicked Robbie Anderson out of the game during the game this last week, and he's no longer on the team. Now he's in Arizona. So they are all over the place. It looks like they're going to have to start over from scratch, from the beginning. Now the other team is the Denver Broncos. Why do I say that? Why, guys? Because Denver has an elite, like, Super Bowl caliber defense. It only allowed 6 touchdowns in the first 6 games. They have Patrick Surtain II establishing himself as a dominant Bradley Chubb. But you see Russell Wilson with this lavish $245 million contract for 7 years. He can't leave Denver if he wanted to till 2026 unless he retires. The Texans are the only team that scored fewer points than them. In order to get Russell Wilson, they had to give away 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and 3 players. Which team? Which team has it worse?
Golly, my thing is, I wanted so much for Russell Wilson to just have a really good breakout season. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's not going well. And then he does have injuries. You know, his hamstring's injured. They don't know if he's going to play. His shoulder has been jacked up for however long. And maybe he just needs to take some time out. But he's really kind of turned a bit diva-ish.
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird. But it's a new system. So you're trying. And I guess for me, it's hard because exactly, Link. So he doesn't know the offense. He doesn't have everything with the receivers. But in my mind, this is Russell Wilson, right? Mm-hmm. This is going to go a lot quicker. And, you know, so, he's talking about rules. So the interim coach came in and was like, get him off the team. I don't think it was necessarily that, Mathis. I don't think that's why. I mean, he had 2 incidents where he didn't want to come off the field. He's getting into it with the offensive coordinator. He's sending to, like, get off the field. Like, it's a distraction. Because you got to think about it. This dude is just coming in. One coach just got fired. He's not trying to lose his job. And so you got to have some kind of cohesiveness. And he's like, let me set the tone. This is what we're not going to do.
Right.
And then somebody had to pay. So you get into it with your offensive coordinator. You isolate yourself. You sit on the bench pouting. You move away from everything. And then you get into it with your offensive coordinator again because it's 3rd down and I should be in the game. And he's like, nah, man, get out of here. Now, who knows what happened in the locker room that caused them to say, we're done with this. But he's like, I'm trying to keep my job, you know? So clearly they don't mind getting rid of somebody mid-season. So he's trying to keep his job. I don't think it was just because of Rule that happened. You know, I feel like Marcus said Anderson see it's a dumpster fire and found a way out. I don't know if Anderson wanted a way out because Anderson was like dumbfounded, like this has never happened. I don't even know how to react. Like I've never been told to get out of a game. Like I've never heard of that. I don't even know what to do. But you know, so it's I don't know. It's just a lot of stuff up in the air. I feel like Denver right now is probably worse off in being able to recoup and recover this season.
Well, if Russell Wilson does not get it together, then they're just stuck. they're stuck. And I do hope that they can get it together. They have some great pieces, but offensively they just haven't been able to gel, and it's almost a waste of this incredible defense, you know. But I mean, with the Panthers, I guess if you have to start from scratch, I mean it's probably better to do that than to be in the Denver situation where you're just stuck
I
and you
mean,
can't go anywhere.
the Panthers are what, 1-4, something like that. Like they're literally, the train is about to be out of reach right now. And so even if you're starting from scratch, then maybe you move it. And who knows, maybe something else was going on with Anderson. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, to me, the reason why I say Denver is because I see that they have pieces in place that could, but those pieces are just not fitting where they need to fit right now.
Right.
Panthers, on the other hand, they just have a lot of, you not only do you have other players, you got a whole new coach who has, so there's a lot of things that, but that'll be interesting.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and dive into other sports news. What you got?
So this is my thing, to be honest. I really want to know my question is, do you think Alabama is still going to make the playoffs? Because this is the way we have it right now. Right. So Alabama lost to Tennessee. I mean, and it just literally blew everybody's mind. But in the beginning, that game started off like, Alabama, y'all better get yourself together. So they end up losing. They dropped to number 6, right? So still in the top 7, you have Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, and one other SEC team. I can't remember who it is. So
Tennessee, Alabama.
So, but the thing is, so Mathis, so you're telling me, so Tennessee was ranked 6. It's not even, to me, it's not even about where they're ranked. But are you telling me that we're going to have 3 freaking SEC teams in the college football playoffs? That's what I'm asking, because if Alabama makes it, Tennessee is probably going to make it, and Georgia is going to make it. So, I mean, it'll be Texas exposed Alabama. To a certain, this is my only thing. Alabama really, at this point, in order to be able to make it, they're going to have to win out. Like they're going to have to.
Yeah,
they're going to have to win in Georgia or in Atlanta when they go. Like they're going to have to. They're going to have to win out.
Right, Marcus. Exactly.
Yep. They did that. I agree.
They did.
But the thing that we know about Nick Saban is that when their back is against the wall, they seem to perform at their top, like top flight at the best. And so knowing that they literally have to win out and they need to win the conference. I just feel like they won the conference last year and they lost in the college football playoffs to Georgia. So I feel like they can get to that point. I feel like even if they go against Tennessee, realistically, Tennessee could win all of the rest of their games and lose in the conference championship and still make it into the playoffs. And then Georgia literally could lose again. I mean, so that is definitely, Marcus, I agree. That's definitely their weakness. But I don't know. I mean, I just can't count out Nick Saban. I can't count him out in what he can and will do. Yeah, Georgia does have Tennessee this weekend, and that'll also be a telltale thing. If Georgia beats Tennessee this weekend, to be honest, it puts Tennessee more at a disadvantage than it does Alabama, even though they won't drop probably in the rankings. If they lose to Georgia, I don't think they're going to drop them at all.
If Tennessee loses to Georgia, you don't think they would drop?
Well, I don't.
I guess they may not. Okay. And says only 2 of the 3 SEC teams will end the season with 1 loss. Mathis says they will win out. He about to play them freshman 5 stars.
Whatever it takes to win. That's just who he is. So that's
It's man, Nick Saban, you just don't know. But my Texas Longhorns are ranked. Proud of them. Let's keep it moving. Is OU ranked? I'm sorry.
They're definitely not in the top 25. And I don't, they're not in the top 25.
So they're not ranked then. Is that that's what you said? Oh, okay. All right.
They're not ranked. I mean,
I was just checking.
They did win. They beat Kansas this week. But yeah, they're not. They're no.
They're out of it. You they're still undefeated. Yeah,
and I mean that's the thing. The way the college football stuff is set up, they really want to go on who they feel is going to bring us the most money in a championship game, and a lot of the times the rankings go according to that, like who's going to have the most pull. And TCU football is good and great for Texas. I just I don't know where they're gonna. I don't know that they're gonna have a chance, to be honest.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I mean, they're first in the Big 12, of course, so that's always a possibility. But I would literally, I could literally see them putting all three of those SEC teams in.
Market.
What'd he say?
OU is in the top 131. That's hilarious that he said that.
I mean, so anyway, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. The other thing I want to talk about, what time is it? So is Deion Sanders swag? If I'm not swag, who's swag? If I'm not swag, who is swag? And this dude went and got a shirt. Did you see he got a hoodie that says "Who is swag?" on the back? I'm swag. I mean, and at the end of the day, who is swag if Deion is not swag? I mean, right now Deion is the face of swag. How long this is gonna last, I don't know, because I don't know that he's gonna stay, because he has so much other opportunity now, and more so because he does a good job recruiting. He's pulling people, and he was talking about, like, he did I don't remember if it was a podcast or whatever, but it was an interview he did, and they were asking him like how he was able to get the number one recruit to end up coming there. And he said they messed up and let me have him do his visit during our homecoming weekend. And he said our homecoming weekend, our team is suited and booted. Like, they got suits on, they dress real nice. And in the stands, it's 60,000 fans in the stands. And he says, so you got this young black boy coming to this school that everybody's telling you ain't doing much or nothing. And then all of a sudden you come in and you see all of this showmanship. You see the band, you see the boys in these nice suits, and you walk onto the field and it's 60,000 fans in the stand.
Yeah.
Man, they messed up letting me have him come during homecoming weekend. Like, you can't have it any better than that. And so he just does a good job recruiting. So other coaches now are like, first of all, let me get him out the swag, because we don't need the swag to start having all their kids go there. Like, they don't, so there's other motives, I think, for some of the teams that are recruiting him. But on the other end, I mean, he knows how to win.
Right. What Matt to say? If it wasn't for prime time, the swag wouldn't be on TV. Yo, is that not so true?
But even though everyone was saying it was negative attention or whatever last week, at the end of the day, that little interaction between them was still good for swag. It still brought light to it. It's still, because I mean, how many people watched swag games before? Like, really? That it just wasn't
on TV though. They might have streamed it.
How many up and coming athletes were even considering going to a SWAC school? So now,
like top tier athletes?
No, exactly. So I'm saying now it just puts them in a different perspective,
right?
Because now you have, other people like saying, man, maybe I should go to a SWAC school. Maybe I should do this. And Yeah, so I mean, it just brought. So if Dion is not swag, who is swag? I don't know. You know, people were talking about he walked through their practice and he did all this stuff. You know, when they were warming up, he walked through their warm up, which I don't necessarily agree with. You know, at the end of the day, I don't necessarily agree with that. But it is what it is. Right. He did that. That's his thing. He runs the stadium all the time. That's who he is. Blah blah blah. You know, and that could have caused some things, but at the end of the day, you know, Dion is swag. So let's talk about NBA stuff.
NBA is back, baby.
And it's hard for me to watch NBA games right now, and I'm just being honest because it's still football season.
Okay.
He didn't. So LeBron says that he didn't walk the sideline. He came out of the tunnel and he did walk the sideline. He just kind of walked through their space. He was on the sideline. He started on the sideline. Yeah. Okay, so let's just go into that. It's so much drama, and more drama in the NBA right now. It's just so much like petty stuff that's going on. The Draymond stuff that happened. I don't know what's going to end up going on with that. You know, I do feel like that there's a lot of stuff that happens within teams all the time. I just feel like right now, a lot of stuff has just become a lot more public. And
yeah.
Y'all see Boston what? LeBron. We see Boston what? We see Boston coach acting crazy, doing stuff. I mean, what we talking about? What we talking about? And I agree, Mathis. So this is that. I want to get to that in a minute, though, Mathis. But so there's so much stuff there's going on. Boston has coaching issues, clearly. The Warriors have their issue going on with their Draymond and all this, and then Steph being the great, wonderful guy that he is. And I just feel like I don't know what's going on with the Lakers. The Lakers, it's not the Lakers.
It's not the Lakers.
It's not.
What do you mean by that?
And I'm gonna be honest. Growing up, I grew up in the country, and I was a Laker fan. I was a Magic Johnson Kareem. I was a Laker fan. Like I love the Lakers. When I went to college, the first trip that we went on, we played at Cal State LA, and we went to a Lakers game. I still have a picture of Magic Johnson waving at me during that game because I'm up there. Magic. He looked up and he waved, and I still have that picture. So these dudes right here, I don't know. Like I cheer for the Mavericks right now because I'm a home team. Right. But the Lakers, I don't know. Like it's just, I don't know. Brown still want all the attention. You can't name 3 players on the team. I cannot name 3 players on the team. But what I do know is that Jackson State wasn't being talked about until he got there. The SWAC was not in the news and on TV until he got there. So he does get a lot of attention because that's his showmanship. He made a comment saying, don't let my confidence, make you embarrassed or whatever. But he's saying like, I am confident. That's who I am.
Right.
But don't be intimidated by it. That's just what it is. Ryan, I think that's very generous. Like, I don't even know. I don't know if they're going to win 45 games. Like, They
have some incredible pieces. All right, cuz, thank you. But the Lakers, they just got Patrick Beverly. They got Schroeder, even though he's hurt. But, like,
is Patrick Beverly good for the Lakers? I mean, let's just be honest. Is Patrick Beverly good for the Lakers? Exactly.
What team is Patrick Beverly good for? If you're going to ask that question,
that's what I'm saying. Like, what is it? You're saying they got some good pieces? That's not
defensively. When Patrick Beverly steps on the court, he makes a difference. He is a Draymond. He is
no. Draymond makes a difference positively on his team. Pat Beverly comes on and wreaks havoc on his team and other teams. No. Even though he gets in people's face and even though he says stuff, at the end of the day, Draymond to me, makes that team go. He puts stuff in play. Draymond is a great assist. He is almost like a point guard playing in a forward's body. You know what I'm saying? Like Draymond does a lot of stuff for that team. I don't know that Pat does. Thank you, Paul. Don't let my confidence upset your insecurities. Thank you. That's what I was trying to think of.
No, he's not. He's just a defensive player. If he makes a difference, why is Beverly third team? Listen, what I mean is that when he's on the court, like seriously, do y'all see like Pat Beverly is like a nuisance to the
everybody
team
and his team.
Okay. Well, okay. So you think that the Lakers are not going to be able to get past their drama, especially the Russ stuff? Or do you think that the Russ stuff is the biggest issue?
I don't think the Russ stuff is the biggest issue because at the end of the day, in some instances, it seems like Russ is willing to make a change in his playing style to. I just don't feel like they know what they want. Like they don't have the right pieces to put in the right place. Exactly. And they don't. And that's the thing too. Russ can get to the hole and do all of this stuff, but he's not, it's not like you can drive in, kick it, and then be like, put the three up and head back down the court. That ain't gonna happen. You better stay back and catch a rebound. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. AD is not going to be the catalyst. AD is not doggish enough to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he get hurt and cower. And no, I don't think AD is going to be that either.
How Lincoln said Patrick Beverly is a wannabe grade B Gary Payton. We love
if grade B.
That's fun. That's like the great value version. But no, I'm giving Pat Beverly his props. Like the dude plays, and he's gonna get in your face, and he's gonna give you 110% effort every time he goes on that court. But yes, he can be somebody that can shoot you in the foot as a teammate. As far as like what he did to Chris Paul in the playoffs, pushing him in the back. That wasn't cool. It wasn't smart, but it was in the heat of the moment. And yeah, those reasons are the reasons why people are like, yeah, no, with Pat Beverly. But defensively, I think he's okay. But okay, so somebody said something to me. What do y'all think? Somebody said that LeBron was playing like old man LeBron. Did you see that? I'm just curious.
I feel that LeBron is just holding on to try and play with his kid. Like, when Kobe got ready to retire, he said, my mind can take it, but my body says it's time to hang it up. And sometimes that happens. I mean, when you start playing as young as they have, they started playing in the NBA at a very young age. That's a lot of mileage on your body. Yeah. And exactly, coach. That's exactly what I was saying. Russ can get to the hole and do all that stuff, but are you going to be able to penetrate and kick it to him and him consistently knock down? It's not going to happen.
Oh.
Yes. He said AD will be there for 5 or 10 minutes a season.
Oh, he said LeBron is playing for points, not wins. He's trying to surpass, and it's all about reaching these goals to surpass the next person. But goodness gracious, like.
But my thing is, at this point, to be honest, maybe LeBron is like, man, we ain't gonna win. So let me just go and see what I can do.
Well, I don't. So are you saying they have no hope? Like,
no hope of what? No hope of what? Going to the playoffs?
Yeah.
I don't see it. I mean, I don't.
It's so funny. Listen to y'all say these things and reading these comments. I'm just getting great pleasure from it. It's hilarious to me. But anyway, you have any more other sports stuff?
No, I mean we got about 10 minutes left.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys the Quirky Queens question of the day, which is with the Brooklyn player drama, you know, KD and Kyrie and Ben Simmons. The Celtics coaching drama, the Ime Udoka stuff we talked about in the last few weeks. The Warriors, Draymond and Jordan Poole drama. Y'all know when Draymond went and sucker punched Jordan Poole, and then the Lakers Russell Westbrook drama and the talks of trades and so on and so forth. How do you guys think that these situations will affect the team's seasons? Comment and let us know. What do you think? Will the Lakers be able to get past these issues and somehow make it to the playoffs? Will the Brooklyn players end up gelling and making it to the Eastern Conference Finals? Will the Celtics just be able to cover their eyes to all of the drama in their front office? What do y'all think?
Man, so from a Lakers perspective, I mean, something miraculous is always possible. You know, I wouldn't overrule that, but I just don't see them making any kind of run. And I don't know that it's just, I just don't feel like they have the pieces that they need. Like LeBron in no way is going to be able to do it all. And he's going to have to do a lot of load management. And there's going to be some games that he is not going to play. So I don't know that the Lakers are going to be, you know, one of the most talked about teams this year in a positive way.
In a positive way.
Now, the Celtics.
My bad, y'all. My bad. It wasn't a sucker punch. My bad.
What wasn't a sucker punch?
They jumping down my throat about this sucker punch. There wasn't a sucker punch.
I don't know. It kind of looks suckerish to me, but you know, but at the end of the day, you don't. If somebody's walking up on you, you just probably got to swing first and go with that. But
thanks, Adele.
I do feel. I agree, Coach. Like I agree that the Warriors, I feel, of all of these with the drama, have the best chance of bouncing back because that's just who they are. Like the Warrior culture is different to me than any team in the NBA. And whenever they have any kind of drama, any kind of controversy, any kind of adversity, they always seem to find a way to bounce back, whether they're winning or losing. You know, just think when Clay was out. Draymond's out, like, and Steph was just in there and then in and out. The team didn't fall apart, you know what I'm saying? And so I feel like they still will be contenders regardless of, you know, whatever's going on, and they'll bounce back. Draymond apologized. He already got a contract, so none of them are going anywhere. So they're gonna be there, and I feel like they'll still do it.
I can agree with the Warriors because they do seem like the bounce back team of the century. And the thing about them is like Clay is back and healthy and he looks good. And I know he's on limited minutes now, but when they get him back full fledged, like everybody in the West better watch. Marcus says that Boston will be fine. They're young and the system is in place. Draymond will be somewhere else next year. I wouldn't be surprised if Draymond said, "I'm retiring," and drops the mic. That would not surprise me one bit. Paul said, unless something catastrophic happens, the Warriors are winning it all again.
I mean, it's definitely possible.
Wow, Kurt gave those young Bulls some quality game when Steph, Clay, and Dre were out. Yeah, for real. And Ann says New Orleans is beating Brooklyn by almost 30 points. Wow.
Wow.
Is KD playing? Is he in the game? Is Kyrie playing? I don't know.
Wow.
Okay, so
you know, go ahead, because that whole Brooklyn thing, like I just don't know. Like they have so much potential. I just don't know how it's going to come together.
Baron. Okay, so okay, we have a couple of more minutes. In these couple of minutes, I'm gonna go ahead and share with you guys where I am in fantasy, and then Sadell, you can do your dope sports chick.
Okay.
If I can. Oh no. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to go. Okay, go ahead, Sadell, while I'm trying to figure out the screen.
Okay, so real quick, I don't know if you guys follow women's boxing at all, but Clarissa Shields this past week became the very first male or female boxer to ever be a 3-time undisputed world champion. So she has fought along, and the thing about her is that she's just a very humble, quiet person. And she was just like, you know, there's people who doubted her, people always been against her, but she did whatever she had to do, and she came out and she fought and she won. And you know, afterwards, she was just saying, like, I thank God because I work so hard and nobody gives me credit. And right. I had a tough opponent tonight. I had to dig down every round. She hit hard, but I hit her back. And I did most of the work today and I was winning. And that's what it's about. And so a lot of times we highlight men's boxing, which, of course, most people love. But I just want to give a shout out to Miss Shields, who is now the first boxer, female or male, to ever be a 3-time undisputed world champion.
Congratulations, Miss Shields. I absolutely love her. And I think that is a dope sports chick of the week, Sadell. Okay, so it's not even giving me the option, and that's so messed up because I had this for you guys. So this is what I'm going to do instead. Since it won't let me show y'all, let me just tell y'all real quick. We only have a couple of minutes left anyhow. Y'all, I'm in 6th place in this daggone league. 6. It's only 10 of us in the league, okay? And I'm in 6th place. Why? Because my team is performing. However, the team just, like right now we're in bye weeks. And I am missing essential players, the players that score the most points. And so when you have to replace your QB, when you have to replace, oh, Marcus, this is not funny. Let me tell you why this isn't funny, why Marcus is on here. I drafted the best drafts in 2 of the 3 leagues that I'm in, with the exception of Dope Sports Chicks, because of Marcus. The Dope Sports Chicks draft did not go how normal drafts would go. Marcus drafted 2 QBs, Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes in the first round.
Wow.
And so everybody else was like, well, dang, I need to get a QB. Well, I need to get a QB. And Carlita ends up with Kyler Murray, which I'm not mad because it's Kyler Murray. But he's not Josh Allen and he's not Patrick Mahomes. And so, y'all, I got to come back this week. Yeah, I'm 3-3, Marcus. We know that. I'm 3-3. But
hey, that was kind of dope, though. Like, how could you pass up either of them if they're both available? So say you draft Patrick Mahomes and then Josh is available next round. I don't know. That's pretty smart move.
You can only play 1 QB at a time. We gotta go.
Switch them mugs out. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We love you so much. We appreciate you. If no one told you they loved you this week, just know we love you, and we'll see you again next week. Peace out.
See you guys.